Hey guys, you're right on time with Summertime. Here we have.
It's Red from Jamaica.
So I would like to know how you got involved in Bitcoin because I've been asking people that because I'm wondering, I know how I did, but what about the perspectives of others?
Great question. First of all, thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
And I was a technologist before I got into Bitcoin. What does that mean? It means I grew up around engineers and people that loves technology. My dad bought and sold computers when I was younger, so I was always working around computers and working around technology. And when I got older and I was working in corporate America, someone was talking about the price of Bitcoin going up. Like, oh, we should buy more. So I followed them. I was not a leader in this case, I was a follower. And I bought more Bitcoin, bought some Bitcoin, my first Bitcoin. In 2017, the price went up. I got excited. I started buying other coins that were not Bitcoin because of my lack of knowledge. And eventually, as all markets do, the price stopped going up and started going down, and that was rough. But it was a lesson, right? They say pain is knowledge. So from there, I wanted to put back on my technology hat and figure out why I was trying to invest in this thing in the first place. What was it that was special about Bitcoin? And I dove all the way down what we call the rabbit hole, learned everything I could about Bitcoin from a philosophy perspective, from a finance perspective, and then finally from a human action or human being perspective, like how it affects us, our own behavior. And I could say that Bitcoin changed me in the long term, and now I just stack sats, first of all, which is just saving in Bitcoin, and I also educate, and then I work on Bitcoin projects now as a programmer.
Wow. Technology goes hand in hand with Bitcoin, so that's cool.
Yeah, it was helpful.
I like how you mentioned the coding part because I'm learning to code, and coding is fun for me, and I'm able to turn an algorithm into a program, so that's pretty cool. I like programming. I like programming a lot.
What programming languages are you learning?
Well, we're actually learning how to turn an algorithm into a program, so we ask the sprite or whatever we're coding to input a number, and then they add the number or subtract the number times or multiply or divide the number to get our final answer. And now we're moving on to learning how to actually make a game out of it.
That is awesome. I used to be a gamer, and I also wanted to code because I wanted to make games. I never actually followed up on it, unfortunately, but that is a great place to start.
Well, then why don't you start now?
I think I'm so focused on Bitcoin coding now, it'd be hard to find time to do gaming coding unless it's a game with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that actually go hand in hand and that'll work pretty well.
You're giving me a good idea.
Well, your own opinion, would you rather mine Bitcoin or earn Bitcoin?
Ooh, can it be both?
Yeah.
Because I'm currently mining Bitcoin and earning Bitcoin by working. Like everything I do in life, like I'm 100% Bitcoin now. I used to be, have fiat savings, like US dollar savings, but over time, every time there was a dip in price or, I wanted to escape the current, inflationary scenario that I was in, depending on what country I was in, I would buy Bitcoin, and it just ended up being that all my assets ended up being in Bitcoin. And now I earn in Bitcoin, and all the mining I do is in Bitcoin. So my entire economy in my life, my circular economy is all Bitcoin.
Wow. I like that. And how you said both, that's nice too. Because I've been getting a lot of buys or mines or earns, but both is nice. I like it. So what is your advice for kids that have Satoshis and Bitcoins?
Well, firstly, don't sell. Hodl is the word people always use, which some people mean hold on for dear life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It really just means hold. And during one of the earlier bear markets, a guy on the internet was writing an article or I guess a post about holding Bitcoin, but he was kind of writing it rushed and messy language, messy grammar, so he misspelled it and it became a thing. And now everybody talks about hodl as like holding no matter how rough it is. So I would say for kids, hodl, hold your Bitcoin, earn, keep learning more about it and earning more of it. And I think that unlike a lot of us adults and unlike most people that are working in society right now, your generation and kids will find uses for it that we have no idea what to do with it. Like it's almost like today the internet, right? My parents have very few uses for the internet, where I'm guessing you would have, a million more uses than them.
Yeah.
So imagine Bitcoin. Like, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, for sometimes for our homework, we depend on the internet to give the answer to us. So yeah, we have a lot of uses for the internet. So I'm trying to imagine what the world is without internet. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I grew up without internet. Well, not grew up, but when I was younger, I would say, what was it, like in the 90s it started? So I was probably in my early teens, like about your age, when I did not have internet. I just went outside and played football, and had time with my friends and horse played and wasted time until dinner. We didn't have any internet.
For me, although I don't solely focus on internet unless it has to do with schoolwork, I like to spend my time reading, writing, drawing. So yeah, my parents say that open a book and read, it opens up your mind and it can bring imagination, and I believe in that. And so far, it's worked out for me. I love reading, I love writing. So internet, yeah.
So if you had a choice, like on a daily basis between internet and reading, which one would be like your favorite?
Reading.
Nice. What's your favorite book?
The Alchemist.
Really?
Yes.
I love The Alchemist. I read it twice.
I've read it twice too.
That's awesome.
It's a very, very nice book, and it's just surprising how he goes back to the very same place that you see him in the first place.
I agree. It's a deep book too. I think I read it when I was younger, but reading it when I'm older and I have a lot more experiences to compare it to, it makes the book even deeper. Mm-hmm. So if I were you, I'd keep reading it, and you're gonna find more and more lessons in the book.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. My last question,
Yeah.
Do you have any encouraging words to kids and adults?
Yes. Well, that's such a deep question sometimes because I never feel like I know enough to give advice, but I can still know, like, everybody has their experience, mm-hmm. and there's always more to learn. So the advice I would give to kids and adults, the same advice I give to myself. Never stop learning. Never think you know enough to stop looking into what you're doing. Always master your craft. Whatever you love, if you love it, keep doing it. And even when you think you're good at it, keep learning how to do it. And that way, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's music, whether it's reading, having fun, even if you're just having fun, like, learn how best to have fun and what makes you happiest. And that's what's important because, and I don't want to get too cosmic, but, but like the more you have a skill set and the more productive you're being, the energy flows in a productive manner, and that energy that's flowing productively, that positive energy, mm-hmm. it's infectious. It spreads to people around you, and you create an environment that is amazing once you're doing something that you love and that you're spreading good energy about. Mm-hmm. So I'd say just keep learning and keep being positive.
I agree with you completely. Thank you so much. Well, guys, catch you next time on Summertime.